Hello, and welcome back to the 80s version of the Twilight Zone. This is still 1988, Season 3, and we're doing The Crossing. Now, this is a very understated episode. It's not one of my favorites at all. I get what they're trying to go for, but I don't think it's communicated particularly well. So, there's an off-screen crash of a car, and when I looked at it first, it felt sort of cheap. And then you get to see the car burning down in a gully. I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to crash a burning car on location where you have buildings and trees and stuff. If it was the backlot, sure, you could do that. But you don't want to do that on location. So that makes sense. But I wasn't particularly taken with it. Shelley Harcourt, I think that's how you pronounce her name. The girl in the car, Kelly. She only has 2 screen credits to her name, this one and something from 2002. So if she's keeping on schedule, she should be doing something any year now, I guess. I hope that she's having a great life, whatever she's doing. The ending gets to me. I don't approve because she turns up, and it's not as if he rewrote history to spare her or anything like that. She was in the car. It's unlikely that he was erased from history and she took his place or anything like that, because he's still, father, everyone's there. So she's just some sort of ghost, of one kind or another, and she just sort of drops her favorite flower onto the casket as it passes her, or coffin maybe, and then she walks away. She doesn't even fade away. I would have liked, a welcome Mr. Chance sort of moment there when he walks out onto the water. But no, you get this, and it's very underwhelming. I'm not a fan. Next episode, however, is much, much better, right? So it is The Curious Case of Edgar Witherspoon, and it is about a man who is balancing the world. It stars Harry Morgan, who was, of course, the Colonel on MASH. And he does a fantastic job as the titular role of Edgar Witherspoon. And when I heard the news in the background of the earthquake, and then later about the little island that gets swept away in a tidal wave, I think of a line it is The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it memorized, where it says that there's a mercy that we don't connect pieces of information. Our ignorance saves our sanity that way. Because if you knew all the things that he did and all the stuff that could almost have happened and can connect all the horrible things that does happen with his inability to act, for instance, you would be just destroyed with guilt, I'm assuming. When he presents the machine and he pops up and he gives his really fantastic over-the-top grin, it's so lovely to see. It's just beaming of a sort of self-assured joy that he's doing the right thing. The ending could have been a lot darker, very easy, and I'll show you how. So Edgar and the doctor are talking, and he says, I'm off the case. And he wouldn't have to have had to do that. He could have just said, I have to find this thing. Could you get me that handkerchief or that business card or whatever, or that bicycle wheel over there? And the doctor goes, yeah, because he's of course very sort of hyped up because stuff is happening. And he goes, okay, you just hang it on that rack over there. And the moment he does, the sort of torch passes. And Edgar goes, oh, I'm free now. That's great. Thanks, Doc, and wanders off. And the doctor's like, oh, no, don't leave. But now I have to find a tuba or a tambourine or whatever. He could have tricked him into service, which would have been bad. I really like this way where he sort of just goes, no, the voice told me I'm off now. So, toodles, I'm going to go to Florida. The episode ends with a freeze to fade. Looks like that. I don't particularly like it when they do that, but it gets a bit jarring when you have this sort of and it stops and then fades out. But that's personal opinion, I guess. Thank you for sticking with me, and sorry again about the order of the episode, and I will see you next week. Take care now.